What a week it has been for news, spoilers. We got our first look at the Pantheon boss, and the Omeyocan faction was revealed to us. Now, this isn't the first faction shown to us, but it's probably the first one that is basically complete. So we're going to digest all of that in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hello there, you wonderful, wonderful people. Raged here, back with another Godforge video. Now, I wanted to release this yesterday, but then this popped up, and we can't not talk about that. And I was like, oh, maybe we'll drop that, this evening. And then this popped up, so it is Saturday afternoon for me as I am editing and recording this. Still yet to see that second part from Simon, but I will tack it on the end, providing this is not too long. Anyway, we have jibber-jabbered on enough. Let's jump into Tuesday's video. So, coming over to the Fateless channel, we're starting with this one just here. So, here we are then into the video, and yeah, as alluded to, lots in this one. And it's actually incredible. The work that's come into recently, things are slowly coming together now. They have reached content lock, so there's nothing else going into the game now. They are just making it stable, I guess, similar to what the Caverns was for the alpha. Jumping in then, there was a lot shown in this video, as alluded to. Okay, so if we come to the Pantheon Hall, we have seen this before. There is nothing new here per se. But what is new is all of the information reference the Pantheon boss, which could just be a video on its own. We'll see how we get on. But here it is, our first look at the Pantheon boss sort of main menu. You can take, there's lots to take in from here. Boss skill info will probably be up here, scoreboards, rewards, and as you can see, we're going to be rotating affinity, very similar to Raid and other games of the sort. That's pretty norm for this genre. So right now you can see it's on strength, and then it will move to wisdom when Simon's head disappeared. Move your head, Simon. There we go. Move to wisdom, cunning, then eternal. So pretty par for the course. Although, actually, the more I think about it, it is very different to Raid. If I'm not mistaken, Raid starts at Eternal and then moves to a coloured affinity afterwards, which is why everyone used to sort of rush, smash it early in the morning, especially early days, to get the neutral affinity of Eternal rather than potentially scoring less with a weak one. So actually, this is a very smart change from one of the biggest games they're going to be competing with. I actually do love that. So there you go. The more you know. So there's going to be daily and weekly rewards. So as you can see from the video here, Tuesday he got 1 tier, Wednesday he got 1 tier, etc. The weekly reward is actually going to take your best hit from the entire week, which is really cool to see. And obviously daily is just going to be what you get that day. Simon then goes on to talk about the rewards and how they try to design this in a way that, if my nan wants to join and she's level 1 and I'm level 100, we can still play together without being affected too harshly. Now, be interested to dive into that a little bit more. The reward system, again, in bosses, normally you would get an improved reward when you actually kill it. Now, if I'm really strong but all my friends are really weak, do I just get the highest tier score available for hitting the highest reward chest that we see here, as opposed to physically killing the boss? That's the only way I can think that it will work, personally. And then he also says there's going to be like an activity sort of reward here, which I imagine is going to be sort of if I disappear my face for a second, boop, this bit sort of down here, where your members just sort of log in, and as long as they hit the boss, that's when you get the extra sort of 4 chests, if you will, down here. Now, if that's how they have done it, great. Is to say that definitely gets around that curve of being able to play with friends. Just having it like activity based, that kind of thing. It also would appear to show that, say, 35, maybe 40 is the clan size that we can have down here. Okay. Which again is cool. There's been a little bit of speculation on exactly how big or small these will be, and that appears to show it's sort of 40. Though I'm under the impression that we won't start out with that. We were talking about it in, at least in Hive Mind, I was talking with Nine about it. Maybe it was the main Discord. That, you know, the member sort of limit, we think, is linked to sort of like clan level, similar to like Dragonair and games like that. So pros and cons to that, but it does appear 40 is the biggest roster size you can get for a Pantheon. The one thing that remains to be seen is the weekly bonuses. Says it's based on like you and your Pantheon coming together. So maybe this is where you need to physically clear the bosses and things. So this might be the one downside to having weaker members. But again, I am speculating here. None of us actually know, apart from Simon himself, to be honest. We will wait and see on that. But overall, the system itself feels pretty good. But it is not as good as the actual boss itself, my god. Look at this. How good does that look? Like, let me hide my mug. And Simon will get rid of his shortly in a moment as well. 3 times speed available, which was cool to see. But my days, Chronos looks awesome. You wouldn't think this was a mobile game, personally. Like, incredible. This itself is a is a wallpaper right here. Amazing. Now, the one thing is obviously the camera angles. A lot of people don't like this because if you want to place a buff, you can't click your teammates, etc. Blah blah blah. This is very much a cinematic style view, and they want it to feel imposing. Again, this is something they've been gunning for the longest time in some of their storyboards, from cinematics, all that kind of stuff. It looks incredible, but if this isn't for you, fear not, because we do still have the other angles in the game. You've got sort of like your top-down view here, which I imagine for this kind of boss fight, at least in the process when I'm manualing it, I will be playing in. But once I've got an auto team down, I'll probably play in the cinematic view because I don't need to focus per se. Everything will just be working as per. But yeah, you got like this sort of view, and then you've also got like this tabletop view. So rather than top down, this is also, I think, will work absolutely fine. But yeah, just it's actually nutty how good this game is looking. You know, for the longest time, a lot of people have said, "Oh, the graphics look shit," but it needs polish, and even this still needs some polish. Like for me personally, this guy's just red shield. It's standing out a bit much for me and kind of blocking off this guy over here. You know, can anything be done about that? Don't know. Perhaps just something to break up the red personally. But again, that is a personal opinion. Opinions like arseholes, everyone's got one. Doesn't mean you have to stick your face in it. So, yeah, with that being said, yeah, an incredible looking Pantheon boss fight. And if they all look like this moving forward, we are in for a right treat. Now, the rest of this video is Simon actually going from bottom to top of all of the Omeyocan faction heroes. I'm not going to talk over them all. Obviously, we've got a butt plug here. There are some particularly cool ones that I wanted to talk about. And of course, they are legendaries. One thing that is worth noting, though, is it's very clear that Fateless aren't afraid to up rarities and listen to feedback. Simon mentions it in a minute. Camazotz, that was a rare, and then he's been upgraded to a legendary. So, things are still fluid in motion. They're still listening to community feedback as well as feedback from people within their industry, I suppose. Yeah, cool to see. So, 3 heroes want to put kids in he looks so good. He's one of the Mayan gods of the underworld with Shabalba, and like the animation that is here, it feels so smooth and cool to me. Like the lighting just appears to work on him right now. He just looks awesome. Like his spine right there. Very, very cool. And then some of the other ones were Tlaloc here, who is like the Mayan rain god, water god. Like, just look at like his like little cape and like his skirt with the running water. It looks so good. I really want this hero. Like, this looks just sweet. Obviously, he is an eternal hero, so he's going to be very hard to get. But that also likely means he's going to be very powerful as well. But he looks so sweet. Very, very cool. And then the last one that I've been thinking that I might really want is not this one, it's the next one. It's Zama. Kinagahao. To me, it looks a bit brown. I have said this in the chat. It's probably just me and my eyes and the way the lighting is. It's supposed to be gold. It appears dull and bronzy to me. But again, that is me. That is a personal opinion. It's Zamana is another one that I think will look really cool. Doesn't look cool right now, or as cool as he could be, but he will do. Because this pedestal next to him, he's going to be sort of sitting on it, floating above it. Now, Zamna, I think, is one of the head deities, if I'm not mistaken, of Mayan mythology. We got the Cayman call out on the back of his head. Cayman is a type of crocodile, for those who didn't know. He's got the books. He's like the law of like knowledge and things like that. One of the most powerful deities in Mayan mythos. Said, if I'm not mistaken, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, but that's what I believe it is. Yeah, he looks very plain, but I think the fact that he's going to be riding that sort of pedestal or sat on it is what's really going to make it sweet. And then lastly, we get Camazot. Now let's listen to what Simon has to say on that.
And then finally, again, someone who got an upgrade actually to legendary, Kamazots. So this is, we had a lot of feedback from people that know these mythologies really well, and they were like, I can't believe Kamazots is at that rarity. You need to change it. So we changed it.
Yeah, looking very cool. Looks a bit humanoid to me again, but again, personal opinion there. That was Tuesday's video, and I was actually also one of the people that were like, why is he a rare? But maybe we'll do a callback to one of my videos if I can find it just now. Oh, Kamazots is a rare! Oh my god! Ugh. The Mayan bat god is a rare. Ugh. I mean, that feels like a punch in the gut for him, but he's only going to be one up over an Aztec warrior, perhaps? That doesn't feel right. The Thursday podcast, there isn't too much to really go into. It's very focused on marketing, and again, not too much that I personally can add, but something did stick out to me, which isn't much, but something is better than nothing. So yeah, let's go quickly jump into that.
Like a kind of a larger event, right? And I think that, what gets me excited for the future is for us to be able to put on larger events, right? To actually like get a larger crew.
We're gonna have a fake con.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that would be so freaking awesome. And I don't know how far down the line exactly something like this would be. A lot of it's going to depend on so many different factors. But I do think that, because of the nature of our game, at least this first game, right? And the fact that there's like all these different cultures that are clashing and coming together. The step beyond that is like, okay, who's dressing up as who? That's what gets me out of bed. I'm like, when can we get to Dragon Con and Gen Con with people, with like a big old group of people wearing the costumes, being some of these characters? That's what gets me most excited about for the and it's probably not even that far down the line.
Yep, so Fateless Con, potentially going to be a thing someday. It's really cool. It's actually something that I wished for in like one of my Christmas wish list videos that we did maybe last year. That maybe one day it can happen, and clearly it's on their minds too. They would love it to happen, and they'd love to see some sort of cosplay competition or something like that. Personally, I'm not that creative. I've never done cosplaying, but there really are some talented people out there who do all that, and it'd be so cool to see that one day at Fateless Con or whatever it's called. So I thought that was pretty cool. And by the way, for those of you unaware, the gentleman in the middle of Stan and Sham is Sam, who is one of the newest sort of marketing executives for Fateless. But that wasn't the only thing that popped up in this video.
Thing that I'm really excited about actually is because obviously we've just come out of alpha, and one of the big things with alpha was this competition where we're actually going to be doing the unveiling in Vegas and things like that. But a load of people reached out to us at the time saying, oh, is there some way that the community can get involved? Can we come and kind of be a part of this event? And that's definitely something that we're exploring. We're trying to find ways that, okay, cool. Obviously, we can't pay for everybody in the community to come, but if they are able to make their own way there, we'd love to open it up to have more people there. But at the same time, having somebody with your expertise of, covering events and stuff like that there, we can now explore the routes of either live streaming it or even just recording it to have it up on YouTube so that everyone can feel like they're a part of this journey and a part of the story. Especially because by the time that rolls around, right, the game's going to be out there. People are going to be playing it.
Live.
Now, it appears that Sam, with his background, is doing events for like gigs, filming, recording, all that kind of stuff as well. He might be there doing it for, as Stan said, for everyone at home, live streaming it, something like that. So if we're not able to go out there, then we can sit at home here and watch it and still be involved, which I also really love to see. So we are coming to the end now. I've still not seen any notifications from Simon about his potential video, so that might fall into next week. But we did get another sort of Friday leak here of the Izumo roster screen. Now, they've been leveling them all up recently, started with Asgard, with Heimdall, then moved to the Omeyocan one, which we've seen recently. My God, this Izumo one is incredible. It is truly spectacular. You've got like the sakura or cherry blossom trees in the background there. I've seen a lot of comments already from people like, it's maybe a bit dark or it's out of focus, but I think that is to draw our attention to the character at the front, who is the focal point. And it looks like potentially it's going to be animated with these falling leaves, so it won't look so bad when we're in game rather than just a still that we've got here. But it is truly stunning. It's so good to see the polish starting to come in now and Fateless leveling up right here. It is sublime, and I am super excited to get into the game eventually. That is all from me today then, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and look after yourselves. Work hard, but as always, play harder. And I will see you in another one soon. Cheers.